So in the first couple of weeks, the appraisals I did, I think in the first 2 days, it was like 8 in one day. I think we got 2 listings pretty quickly, but one of them was like pretty big, like a massive listing. Like it's actually, since it's become unconditional, it's the highest sold house property in Bowen.
Oh, wow. In terms of listings or sold properties to date, what does that look like for you from the system?
Yeah, so I think we've had 6 so far sold.
In terms of commission as a whole, what does that roughly look like for you?
Yeah, so I needed assistance calculating because I was too busy to even look. That's how busy the program makes you. But yeah, we worked it out to be about 180K. So that is obviously massive.
Kelsi, appreciate your time today. Pleasure speaking with you. Peter Lawton Property, tell me a little bit about the business and your role within that business.
So it's just the 3 of us. So myself, my dad, and my mum. So just a little family business. So dad started doing, he's been doing business for a very long time. So he started doing like cattle auctions and then rural properties. Then we came here to Bowen, and he and mum started their own agency. So they ended up selling that, and we were kind of like, no, we're not. I was doing the rentals, and then we're kind of like, we're not going to do that anymore. But because people just kept ringing us and asking for help, and we're not very good at saying no. So we're like, okay, we'll help a few people. And then, yeah, it kind of just all started up again. We changed our business name because we had sold the business. And yeah, just went with Peter Lawton Property. And it's just the 3 of us. And that's been, like 3.5 years now. So yeah, that's how it's been a long time, but it's also new as well.
Yeah, and I love the family approach. I think that's quite a unique touch to a business. That's good.
Yeah, not many people can work with their family, right?
It's true. It's true. And in terms of the market you service, is it primarily houses within the town and city?
Yeah, so we do homes and rural properties. We don't do much commercial. We're just, because it's just the 3 of us, like it's pretty flat chat with just kind of homes, units, and rural properties. So that keeps us busy enough.
Sure, I'm sure. And you touched on the bit of the history before, but let's talk about your journey and business position prior to coming on board with Icon Media Co. What was the situation you were in that time?
Yeah, so when, like I said, we previously had started business, and that was, 15 plus years ago. And obviously everything was different then. So you put ads in paper, people come into the office, like it's a very different way of, I guess, marketing and getting in front of people. So when we started again, the 3.5 years ago, to get a new business name out there, even though you were the same people, but it was very difficult for people to know. So that was hard for people to know it was still you, but you had a different business name. People no longer kind of come into shop fronts and things like that. Marketing is obviously very social media focused. So I've got a pretty good grasp of that, but not good enough. You need really specialist approach to that if you want to get in front of people. So when we first started, we found it difficult. Like there was people who knew us who would ring us, which is fine, but there was a lot of new people in town who didn't know us previously. So we had to figure out a way to get in front of those people, and we really struggled with that.
And what made you reach out to Icon Media Co for support and ultimately become a client at the end of the day?
Yeah, so I guess you guys are obviously very good at marketing because you marketed to me because I was obviously a client that needed your help. So I saw your ads on Instagram. It piqued my interest because obviously I thought if you can reach me because I was someone who needed your services, then obviously you could reach someone who needed our services as well. So I got on board for a bit of a chat, and after I went over some things with Maurice, it made a lot of sense to give it a go. Like the outlay is quite big to start with, but I guess what you get back is far more than I had realized. It's not just putting some Facebook ads out and hoping for the best. Like it's a very involved process, but you get a lot of help with it because there was no chance I could have done any of that by myself. So
Yeah. And I think, I think when you taking on that approach of trying to find the appropriate marketing agency to support you, I think one of our key differences is that we specialize in real estate and we have the tools and resources in place to ensure we map that kind of structure to target on the real estate goals that you're after. So we love having you on board, Kelsi. So it's good. So walk me through the first couple of weeks after launching your campaign with Icon Media Co. What was your experience and achievements like?
yeah, it's actually really funny because Maurice is like, okay, we'll launch it today. And I was like, okay, like that's fine. We'll launch it today. No worries. I'm just thinking, it'll be a couple of days. Usually you put a Facebook ad out, you might get a couple of clicks or whatever. But yeah, he's like, we'll launch it. Great. All done. It was really easy, like quite an easy process. And I was chatting to him. I'm like, oh, launch. Like, we'll see what happens. My phone, I can't even tell you, like it was bananas. I couldn't even like put it. Yeah, I don't even know how to describe it. Like, I couldn't even look away from my phone because it was just dinging so much. And because, you want to get to the person who inquired quickly,
Yeah.
I just couldn't do it quick enough. Like, I was like, I need like heaps of phones to ring. Like, it was really full, like, it was quite full on. So, obviously, yeah, like, there was even a point in the first couple of weeks where I was like, guys, we really need to, like, not be as good at this because it's just too overwhelming. Like, there's so much. Like, I'm just getting so many inquiries. And even though, like, of course, not every inquiry is going to be a sale. Like, some people just click on an ad because it's there. But a lot of people that I spoke to was people that hadn't known about us, who
Yeah.
had never met us before, because relying on people who knew us from before wasn't enough anymore. So yeah, to just even be able to chat to people again was great because I wasn't getting even a chance to chat to people to even go to their houses. So in the first couple of weeks, of the appraisals I did, I think in the first 2 days it was like 8 in one day.
Wow.
So yeah, it was a very full day.
Yeah.
Very
Busy.
full couple of
Yeah.
days. Yeah, I was doing a
Yeah.
lot of after hours, just like doing the appraisals up on my computer after each day because I was like, I want to keep up with this because it's such a
Yeah.
good opportunity. The first 2 weeks was hectic.
And what do you find with the systems in place? Did you find eventually when you started to feel the momentum that the systems kind of started to support you with nurturing those leads that were coming through the system at such high volume?
Yeah, so I had, like, when I signed up, I actually didn't have, there was so much information. I actually didn't have, I guess, a grasp on the full program that you offer. Like, it's not just
Yep.
people, you getting a phone number in your phone, like, it's a full automated system. I had no idea how much I needed that until you guys put it in front of us. So, definitely, I needed that with all the amount of people
Yeah.
coming in. But it was also good later on to be like, okay, I've got a calendar. Like, that was something that we didn't touch on. But I was like, okay, I can book these people into a calendar. People can book themselves into a calendar. I can set
Yeah.
times for that. Like, there was just so many other pieces that came into it that were incredibly helpful. It wasn't just getting people to come to us. There was all these parts. The AI system, like, yeah,
Yeah.
just so many pieces that came together that definitely were far more than I expected.
100%. And that's it. As it starts to kind of create an ecosystem or a process that if handled correctly, you can see how it can be sits into your business on a day-to-day basis. So
Yeah,
that's
absolutely.
it's good to hear the activity was, I mean, a lot, but you started to get that momentum going. And you mentioned obviously the first 2 weeks was pretty full on. Did you have success with converting leads to listings within that
Yes,
space?
yeah, we definitely did. So I think, yeah, it was about, I think we got 2 listings pretty
Hmm.
quickly. But one of them was like pretty big, like a
Yep.
massive listing. Like, it's actually, since it's become unconditional, it's the highest sold like house property in Bowen.
Oh,
So
wow. Fantastic.
that's pretty huge. So that was one early on. It was very unexpected. When I rocked up to the house, I was like, oh my. So yeah, that was something that we probably never would have gotten because they didn't even know we existed.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's, an opportunity that would never have come about. But yeah, there was definitely 2 listings within the first couple of weeks from all those appraisals. But yeah, I think also there's some that I still will be contacting in 3 months' time, because they're like, we're
Yeah.
not quite ready now, but we will be then. Or so yeah, even though it wasn't in the first 2 weeks, it's still to come.
Yeah, and I think that's you made a good point there too. Is fantastic that you secure listings within that first couple of weeks coming to onto the program.
Mm,
But as you know, it's a bit of a nurturing approach as well. Some of those potential leads to listings may not come on for 3 months,
yeah,
6 months, 12 months, but that's what the systems are in place to keep that nurturing program going and
yeah,
successfully leading into a listing in the later time. In
exactly.
terms of listings or sold properties to date, what does that look like for you from the
Yeah,
system?
so I think we've had 6 so far sold. I think that's including a couple of unconditionals at the moment. So yeah, so pretty much
Yep.
6, yeah, 6 sold properties that we definitely wouldn't have gotten, because they didn't know that we existed, or some of them didn't know that we were back doing
Yeah.
real estate as well. So
That's it.
great start.
Yeah, that's a good volume to start. And as you said, some
Mm,
in the pipeline as well. And in
mm.
terms of commission as a whole, what does that roughly look like for you?
Yeah, so I needed assistance calculating because I was too busy to even look. That's how busy the program makes you. But yeah, we worked it out to be about 180K. So that is
Fantastic.
obviously massive for my family and myself, to be able to, and also, I guess, to know that that's not just going to stop there as well. Like
Yeah,
it continues. So it's a bit more, I'm not sure what the word is, but where you know that something's still going to keep coming. So
exactly. Yeah.
consistent is the word I'm
That's
looking
that's
for.
exactly right.
Yeah.
And as we touched on before, that's part of the campaign, the system. It's nurturing those into that ultimately that future commission
Yeah,
come.
exactly.
Is fantastic. And long-term goal to take your real estate journey to the next level. What's that look like? And how do you feel Icon Media Co. will help support you in that mission?
Yeah, so I think like we're pretty happy now with where we stand. Obviously, there's only 3 of us. There's only so much that we can do, but we also want to make sure that we don't have an incredible amount of listings that we can't give our best to all of them. But I think now we've tweaked the system a bit, so I'm not getting thousands a day, something that I can handle appropriately. But also, they're, I think, also a bit more. What's the word I'm looking for? The leads are more.
Quality.
Yeah, quality. Yeah, thank you. Yeah, quality. Exactly. So, the quantity was high before, which is exactly what I wanted. So I could ring
Yeah.
people, talk to people, get in people's houses. And, despite some of those being just because they wanted to or just interest, like they're going to talk to someone. So it was just pretty much getting out to people. It
Yep.
didn't matter if it wasn't, you know, monetary base. It was just I wanted to see people and talk to people. But now I feel like the system is where I get, 1 or 2 every couple of days, so that I can call people within the right
Yeah.
time frame, but also get to them as well. And people, yeah, can book in, when they want to, and it's a bit more streamlined
Yeah.
and a bit less like frantic. But yeah, I think in those first couple you need that franticness
Yeah.
and
And
get around it,
it's
and like I said, get into people's houses and in the
exactly.
conversation. But
Yeah.
yeah, now I like that. And I also feel like even though the leads haven't maybe come from exactly from Icon, I feel like we're getting phone calls just out of the blue. And I feel like, how people will see it on Facebook and they might not click on it, but they
Yeah.
might see it a few times. So I do feel like there's that domino effect as well, where despite them not
Yeah.
coming through the system, they're seeing it in different places. So I think that's something where we wanted to be, where we were being seen. And that's
Yeah.
finally happened, being seen in more places and not having to think about, do I have to do another Facebook ad? Do I have to fix that up? Like, why is that not converting? Like, you guys just sort that. That
Yeah.
takes that away. So, yeah, I feel like that's where we're at the moment is really good, because we're doing a couple of listings every couple of days, and that's good for us.
Yeah. And you've built that foundation a little bit too. And I think you made a good point that sometimes the leads might not be a lead that comes through the system,
Mm,
but they might have seen it on Facebook or Instagram, for
Yeah.
example. Another example that we've come across with a lot of agencies, that the lead that they've converted from the system into a listing, the neighbor across the road has seen that, and then they'll take on that listing. So there's many forms, isn't there, that you can connect from one source that just opens up opportunities in other ways in the market.
Yeah.
So
I feel like that has
very
definitely,
interesting.
I feel like that's definitely happened. They're coming from outside the system, but they're still
connected in some way. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
That's
So yeah, I
with
definitely feel
exposure.
like, and the more you list, the more people think you're listing. You know what I mean?
You might have to open up a Peter Lawton franchise, I think, just to kind of take on more
we don't have
these listings.
any other family members. Well, we do, but they don't want to do it.
Sounds like a terrible situation to be in.
That's what I mean. Like, it is good, but like I did say to your team, I was like, guys, like, we need this to be slower.
Yeah,
it's too much.
Yeah,
so that's good. Like, that's what we wanted.
It's a healthy thing to be experiencing. And we're always here to support you in that and tweaking. And I think that's the whole thing, is we got to work with you as an agent, because every area is different, every market, every clientele is different, and what works for one agency might need to be tweaked for another agency to adapt to what's working, so you get the best out of the system.
I think that's a really good point. Like, when I first spoke to you guys, because we're a really small area and we have a high volume of real estate agents in our area. Yeah, and the fact that I just wasn't sure that people understood how small we are. But yeah, you guys definitely had a good grasp of that when we spoke about it, and you got to know like the area, and that I think really helped with marketing it too, because we've had previous
100%.
ones, try to do things, but it doesn't work for our area like it does in the city. So yeah, that was something that worried me at the start, but yeah, definitely isn't a worry anymore, because you saw it.
And that's right, you got to have an open communication channel, because we need to know what's doing. You're the experts in your market. We need to be able to communicate, collaborate to get the best out of the system. If we don't know, then it's really hard for us to structure it, that human element behind the scenes. So we appreciate it. It's absolute pleasure to have you on board and continue to have you on board. And we can't wait to hear about your future successes that 100% we know that you'll achieve. So Kelsi, thank you so much for your time.
No worries. I hope that this helps other agents jump on board, because I watched some of these that you did with previous people, and it definitely helped me. So yeah, I hope that it helps others as well.
Thanks, Kelsi. Appreciate your time.
No worries.